Hey guys, I'm back with another fantastic. I can't fucking do that. That's so gross. This is 2018. Are we in? Yeah, it's 2018. Let me talk about my favorite games, my top 10 favorite games from the 2018 year. There's people drumming next door. Hopefully you can't pick that up. Okay, let me just dive right in, because, I don't know. Every time I see someone review this game, they always say, this game is so weird. And you fight enemies with your tears. I mean, yeah, that kind of nails it. Binding of Isaac is a very simple roguelike game, but what this game does better than any other game of the genre is it's so difficult to get tired of. Every time you play, you get a little better, and a full playthrough of the game is much shorter than many other roguelikes, so you never have a character you've been building for days and days die off, and then be forced to start again. Once you play it enough times, you learn how things work, what things do, you build strategies, and you get better at the game. But have you seen the starting weapon? Are those fucking tears, man? Inside is a spooky game. It tells a spooky story in a spooky setting. The way the story is presented is without a single word spoken, and a dark and gloomy setting is beautiful, and the story it tells is as well. I'm not going to say anything about this game because I really think you should just go play it. It's like 2 or 3 hours long, and if you missed it when it was new and exciting, now is a perfect time. It's always been a perfect time to play it. Now is also the perfect time to play it. Okay, I have to dive in last minute pretty quick on this one because I played a game recently that kind of pushed back a few games on this list. Okay, so I was pretty unaware that Deltarune had even come out this year. And I only got around to playing it because Hilton started sending spoilers, and I wanted to not get spoiled, so I played it just quickly to get it out of the way. Turns out, it's like the most charming game that I've played this year. You can get through the game pretty fast. It's only like 2 or 3 hours long, and it's only chapter 1, but already it's showing that it's going to be a really strong series, I imagine. Deltarune is basically just a fanfic of Undertale, made by the same guy that made Undertale. That's about all you need to know. That took me way longer than it should have. God damn it. Dead Cells is a place to rock. It is a roguelike, and you can buy upgrades and weapons as usual. It's a good game to speedrun, it tracks your time. People rush here to get down to the timed over war rooms. Dead Cells has a good soundtrack. They use sick guitars. A Big Mac has 26 grams of fat. A Quarter Pounder has 28 grams of fat. Okay, seeing this game here, you might be thinking, oh, he must not have played any good games this year. But hear me out, okay? Super Laser Racer is one of the simplest games. It is a top-down racing game, which is about as bad as you get for consistency and controls. But it's in the simplicity of the game itself where the fun is. You want to win the race, you have the items to do it with, and that's it. The weirdest thing in this game is that when you get hit by a weapon, it takes away your ability to turn, which is goddamn annoying, but it's a fun thing to work around, and I like it how it's different from a lot of other games. Timing your attacks just before opponents are turning and learning how to react when hit is very different. It makes you work on that new strategy when you play this game. Obviously, there's some items that are better than others. There's like the plasma gun, which is completely useless because it doesn't aim. And then there's like the cannon, which is insane because you just get a billion shots. And then there's the tractor beam, which is just the absolute most broken fucking thing. Like, it's almost Carnage Racing level.
Zach.
Yeah?
What? Fuck lord.
Whoa.
For such a small and simple game, there's a lot of ways to play. There's tons of maps, and a tournament mode, and an eliminator mode, which is my favorite, where whoever's in last at the end of each lap gets taken out of the race, and it just goes until someone wins. Another cool thing that has, it comes with a level editor, and that's just an absolute hot mess. Okami is a beautiful blend of a painterly art style and a PlayStation era fighting game. Take that as you like. It's got really interesting mechanics with the brush, like using it to solve obstacles and as a weapon in combat. The look of the game is really nice, it's really cute, there's tons of adorable little animals that you interact with. What makes it even better is that you're the cutest animal and the goodest doggo. Okay? All that being said though, it is one of those games that opens with 25 minutes of unskippable cutscenes, and then most conversations are too long with the dialogue you can't skip. It's one of those games. Jesus Christ. But all of that being said, it's also one of the most charming games out there, and if you've got the patience, it is a fantastic experience to play this game. Floppy Boys Face Down is the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game this year.
Aiden, I took your advice, one arm at a time.
It's such a silly little game where you have to work together and solve puzzles. The main problem here being the game is pretty much a teamwork-based Gang Beasts, and if you've ever played Gang Beasts, that's about the level of cooperation you can expect to get out of this game. You know what?
What is happening down
You know what, Lucas? We're going.
No!
Get in! No, Zach, what are you doing? No! Every single time that I mention the fact that I play this next game, I get a barrage of people telling me, oh, that's a bad game, or, oh, I don't like that game. I'd like to request in response, let me play Overwatch in peace. I let you play, I let you play, Warframe. I let you play League. Overwatch contains all the things I like most in an FPS game. It's fast-paced, most fights are quick, you don't spend 10 minutes trying to kill one enemy, but it's also not like an instant kill like in Call of Duty. You know who people are, you know who you're fighting, and there's certain matchups that work better. It's character-based. There's so many different people in this game, and each of them plays so differently from the others. And they also have a lot of different backgrounds, there's a lot of character behind each character. That's my favorite thing. With the exception of builders, I think they're all amazing. Maybe not Brig. Maybe not Brigitte. I'm not a fan. But I love the fact that every playstyle is accounted for. And I like how you can tell how people prefer to play by looking at their mains. I probably only like this game so much since I have an immunity to tilting apparently, because based on the voice chat, people seem to think that instead of Overwatch, I should be having intercourse with myself. Fair enough. Fair enough. I gotta say right off the bat, Subnautica is the scariest game I've ever played, and I spent a lot of last year playing actual scary games. What's scary about this one is it takes place in an ocean, and an alien ocean at that, and an alien ocean that you've crash landed in with just your escape pod, alone. Now, I don't know anything about thalassophobia, but I do know that I spent the first 5 or 6 nights standing on top of my escape pod waiting for the day to come. The ocean is an abyss, and that's spooky. What's spookier is that everything you see is completely alien to you, because they are aliens, and none of them are real creatures. You don't know what anything will do to you until you approach it, and the game plays along the fear of the unknown so well. Eventually, you start to get set up. You can build a shelter, you get vehicles, you explore further every time you go out, and there's another new and exciting thing that you haven't seen yet every time you turn the game on. I've never had a game both scare me and inspire me to explore more than Subnautica. Celeste is the most fun game I've ever played. It's one of the most fair yet challenging platformers I've ever experienced. The game is about this girl, and she wants to climb a mountain. 10 out of 10. This game is challenging, but because of how smooth it feels and how effortlessly it controls, it makes for a lot of moments where you can pull off something crazy and get away with it, and times when you just barely make it to the next part and you have to stop and relax for a moment before you continue. You have one jump and a dash in midair, and if you hit one of these shiny things it resets the dash, leading to some of the most satisfying platforming ever. There's several different levels and each of them have a new game mechanic to get used to, but it never becomes too much and it still feels so smooth all the way through. The gameplay is the perfect balance between difficulty, fairness, and most importantly fun. Don't even get me started on the soundtrack as well. Lena Raine, you've done a fantastic job, but I'm going to stop myself right here since we'd be here for hours. The story about the game deals with depression and anxiety, and it's heavily about confronting yourself and learning self-acceptance. But if you're not looking for a story-heavy game, Celeste also gives you the option to bypass most of the conversations. And the same goes the other way. If platforming isn't your thing, the game has a setting to let you experience the story without the hardest parts of the platforming. You can make yourself invincible, or you can make yourself able to jump forever. It makes the game so much simpler. The game also takes place in my country, in my province, and is made by a family member. I know it sounds like I might be biased here, but I am not exaggerating when I say that Celeste is without a doubt is the most I have enjoyed a game in my entire life.